Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be smoking a real paper cigarette to die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs. I definitely do think that I'm probably going to die because of all of the paper cuts from all of the paper that I'm going to be smoking in today's video. So as such, I might just die because I bleed out internally due to all those paper cuts and everything like that. It doesn't really sound like the most pleasant way to die to me, but if that's how I die, that's how I die, you know what I'm saying? But this cigarette overall is literally just a paper cigarette. I rolled this cigarette just like I would roll any other cigarette, and then after I rolled it, I just shoved it full of paper, you know what I'm saying? It's all done with rolling paper. This is all done with top paper and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? So certainly no complaints on my behalf. I am a pretty big fan of top paper overall, but either way though, I am certainly very, very, very excited to smoke a real paper cigarette and to die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs. Now, what are my expectations for this? I'm kind of thinking this might just burn, and I might not even really be able to smoke it or anything like that kind of thing. I really have no clue, in all honesty. I hope this is somewhat smokable, and I hope I can get at least a couple hits off of this cigarette. But it is literally just paper. There's nothing to just moderate the amount of burn and everything like that kind of thing, like tobacco and a normal cigarette moderating the amount of burn for the paper and everything like that kind of thing. Whereas in this cigarette, it's literally all just paper. So as such, I'm kind of thinking it might just all catch on fire, and this video might just not be a success at all, which honestly might be a good thing because then I won't die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs, you know what I'm saying? But either way though, I do hope that this is actually smokable, and I do hope that it actually does work, you know what I'm saying? I've just got a filter on this side. Of course, I had to make it into a real cigarette, you know what I'm saying? So this doesn't need to have a filter, but I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and get this lit up and go ahead and, smoke a real paper cigarette to die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs. I do think without further ado though, let's go ahead and get this lit up. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well this is kind of burning quite a bit. Terrible taste. Terrible taste. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible taste. This tastes terrible. This tastes absolutely terrible, y'all. I cannot believe this. I'm just gonna go and ash this real quick and just look at how this is just so ashy, but it is actually burning not terribly, which is honestly a little bit surprising. Not a fan. This tastes terrible. This tastes absolutely horrible. Am I dying from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs? I definitely do think that that might be a possibility. I gotta be honest, y'all. But also, this is just a terrible experience. And this is not something I ever want to experience ever again. The taste from this right off the bat, it's super harsh. It just burns your throat. Super bad, chemically tastes terrible. This is one of the worst tasting smokes I have ever had. I really seriously would not recommend any of y'all do this. Although I will admit, the first bit of it did smoke very quickly, but this last bit, granted I also haven't taken any hits in a minute or anything like that, but this last bit is smoking pretty well, you know what I'm saying? Overall though, this is not it. But it is actually smoking. It's terrible. It's terrible. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a good idea. Am I dying from a million tiny paper cuts? More than likely. I more than likely am. My lungs are certainly not happy with me right now. But I do think without further ado, I'm going to go and take one more hit of this. I don't think I have any more left after that, so I'm going to go and take one more hit and just go ahead and put it out after that, in all honesty, you know what I'm saying? Oof. Burn my finger. That burned my finger. I cannot believe this. I gotta play on side. I cannot believe this. I'm just gonna leave it on the ground. That thing, terrible. It's cursed. Did I die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs? Well, I'm still alive. Do I think I'm gonna bleed out internally later today? It's quite the possibility. I gotta play honest, y'all. Overall though, how was this experience? How was smoking a real paper cigarette that was stuffed with paper? It was terrible. Oh my God, that tasted horrible. I gotta play on side. That was one of the worst tastes I have ever experienced. Terrible taste, terrible experience, not something I ever want to do again. This was overall one of the worst experiences I have ever had, and not something I would ever recommend any of y'all try at home. This was absolutely terrible. I've got flies coming at me, I don't know why. This was absolutely terrible though, not enjoyable at all. I didn't even get buzzed from this. In fact, I'm actually feeling worse than I was when I first started the video and everything like that kind of thing. My throat definitely is not very happy with me. It definitely did just burn the hell out of my throat, you know what I'm saying? Overall, it did not smoke for very long. It does not taste good. It's very, very harsh, way too harsh, and it burns your fingers. My finger is still hurting, I gotta play honest, y'all. So as such, those are 4 reasons right there as to why y'all should not smoke a paper cigarette. It's a terrible experience, not something I'm gonna do again. And overall, yeah, not a great experience at Good Plans. So certainly not a great experience. Definitely not something that I ever want to do again. Smoking a paper cigarette, even though this was a real paper cigarette and everything like that kind of thing, I didn't just roll paper into a little bit of a cone and just smoke it like that kind of thing. I actually stuffed a cigarette full of paper. It don't be working very well. It don't be working very well. It be tasting terrible. Not something I would ever recommend any of y'all do. I do definitely think, though, if I had maybe rolled this with like printer paper or something like that instead, I do definitely think it might have smoked for a little bit longer, but since I used all rolling paper, it definitely does make sense why it burned so quickly. Either way, though, not something I'm going to try again. Not ever plan on making another paper cigarette video in the future, that is for sure, I say that, and I'm probably going to in the future nonetheless, but overall, terrible experience, not something I'd do again, and not something I'd recommend anybody else do. Please do not try this at home, you know what I'm saying? Overall, though, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching me smoke a paper stuffed cigarette, a real paper cigarette, to, well, die from a million tiny paper cuts in my lungs. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I think that's just about all I have to say. So as such, I'm going to go and roll the rest of the outro. If you guys enjoyed this video, of course, as said, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, my second channel, all in the description down below. You know what I'm saying? Go check it all out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. Until the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?